Welcome to the Overtime Podcast. How are you doing, my friends and family? Well, today we got ourselves a fun episode to come up. I'm Ryan. This is Jacob. We missed you. We missed you guys.
We're just too wholesome over here.
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to do this episode. Been missing out. I got to talk about the sports again. Especially now, it's having a good time. Spring games are on right now for the Phillies. It's a good time. It's a good time to enjoy. Baseball's starting soon. Do you think we just want to get right into this?
Let's get into it. But before we get started, I just want to add this in the beginning. Try this out. I wanted to tell our viewers, make sure to leave some comments. Leave some comments. Give us some suggestions.
Yeah.
Give us some ideas. Get the wheels turning for us.
Listen, and we'll take critiques as well. We're willing to try to fix our podcast any way we can to make it your guys' best form of entertainment possible. So please, constructive criticism, we'll take it, and we'll take ideas for possible future episodes. We'll take everything into account. But anyway, let's get started. Man, I guess we might as well start off with the slower one. We got ourselves the Philadelphia Phillies. Spring games have begun.
You look like an absolute super fan right now.
I know. I've been trying to switch up the jersey every time we've been on the show. For the Spotify listeners, I'm wearing all Phillies gear right now. So, for my digging around this time around, not a lot of transactions have been made. Honestly, not any. There's been no transactions that have really been made. Castellanos been released. We talked about that last week. But spring games have started. The reports have said that from Zach Wheeler that his arm's feeling smooth from the post-surgery, and he's feeling good. The vibes are up at the clubhouse, which is very surprising with all the drama that's been going on, and that's actually a good sign. I've also been hearing that the pitching has been doing really good, but then again, you always got to take it with a grain of salt because of it is spring season. I don't know. What are you feeling on the Phillies right now? Especially with the vibes being up.
Well, I'm glad we got rid of that locker room cancer Castellanos to begin with. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I kind of miss the guy. I miss the guy, but
well, he was drinking brewskis in the dugout, so that's a problem.
You're acting like you wouldn't want to do the same thing. Anyway,
well, I would want to, but you can't. You're an adult. You gotta have some restraint there.
I'm glad the vibes are high. That's always kind of been like a big center point surrounding these Phillies teams the last couple of years is playing off vibes. So hopefully the vibes are high come beginning of the season. Hopefully that positively affects their play.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think so. I believe Bader also is probably not returning back to the team. I don't know if we ever talked about that.
I don't remember
from previous episodes.
Yeah,
but I don't think Bader's returning, which sucks because he was a total energy guy, and he brought a lot of oomph to the team, to the roster, especially on field and hitting.
We do have Justin Crawford coming up, and I'm pretty sure he's a center fielder, so he'll be fitting right in there. So it makes sense.
Man, it's still wide open to what's going on, but it's hard to talk about the Phillies right now when there's literally nothing going on. Dombrowski has made no moves. The organization's barely made any transactions. There's not a lot of change to the roster. Just a lot of people leaving, and we got Garcia. So we'll take that. We'll take it. We'll take what we can get.
We need to trade for Shohei Ohtani. Put it in the universe.
We need to start splashing some cash. We're like one of the most expensive teams in the sport. And we need to get some money involved if we want to make that push in the playoffs. But I guess the organization just trusts the roster they have, which I don't blame them. They did win a lot of games in the regular season, and they lost to the Dodgers. But, come on. Let's put some money on that team.
Yeah. You say that, but they're also losing players from those teams and not really replacing them. So
I guess they got a lot of faith in the young boys, the young lads coming up. The young Bulls. So hopefully, prayers up for them because they got a lot of pressure coming into this season if they aren't replacing with any veterans. Well, that's probably going to do it for the Philly side of things. Let's move on to the Sixers side, which is good news. Man, the Sixers did great for the past week. They are won 3 of their 4 games. I thought it was going to be the start of a bad week with that big old doozy against the Pelicans. I was watching that game playing
Yeah.
poker, and that was just a nightmare. the boys looked sluggish. I was not excited.
We talk about locker room cancers, getting rid of them. We got rid of that McCain guy, and now look at us now.
Bro. Come on now. No, it's not because McCain is gone. It's more so because Quentin Grimes really has stepped up this past week. He's been a lot more efficient and has been really scoring more points as his player piece he is. Just a little more diving deep into the games itself. They lost to the Pelicans 111 to 126. I mean, that game was a real doozy. A hard watch for the fans out there. I was not having a good time watching that one at all. But they turned it around on Sunday. Back-to-back games. They beat the Timberwolves on the road. And this is kind of when Quentin Grimes was really starting to get heated up and cooking, which is good. He's really efficient that game. They moved on to against the Pacers, and they won 135 to 114. Maxey had a 32-point game. And I believe VJ had a 69% percentage on shot percentage, so which is really good. I mean,
nice.
Yeah. then they took it home. They beat the Miami Heat 124 to 117, and we got some fantastic news from that game. Tyrese Maxey is officially the all-time leading three-point scorer for the Sixers. I mean, damn.
Round of applause.
Watching history. He did it in not a lot of games either. I think it was like, 345 games? I mean, that's
something like that.
Very impressive and also very alarming, kind of, that the Sixers did not have anybody.
The 76ers three-point, history has not been that great. Like, I think Joel Embiid's, 6th or 7th in that list. Tobias Harris is, top 5. And then JJ Redick, who only played 2 seasons, is in the top 10. So it's still a great achievement to have, but at the same time, it's
it's definitely an excellent. Well, it's an excellent achievement, and he's got a long season to go. He's still a young guy, and I hope he stays with the team for a while. It seems like he's kind of turned into that franchise role that we were expecting the previous years for him to be, which is nice.
They don't call
it's really
him the franchise for nothing.
So it's just really awesome to have him on the team, and man, the Sixers are going to close out this week, ending it 33-26. They're at 6th place in the East, right in front of the Magic, who have been spiraling right now. They've been kind of on and off. So a decent spot so far in the playoffs for a playoff spot. I mean, we're not close to the play-in, which is nice. That's a bonus. And there's 23 games remaining, which means every game's going to start counting now. I mean, the games are going to get more serious, and this is where the momentum really comes into play.
Yeah, this is where you want to get hot in terms of basketball around this point. If we could go on a good run and finish off the season good. The main point is staying in the 6th spot or higher, because I don't really trust I trust this team to win a playoff series, but it's kind of hard to win a play-in game. So hopefully they could stay around this point and maybe move up the rankings.
I hope so too. And I mean, if they keep playing the way they are, it's a good recipe right now. Hey man, definitely better than last week. Last week was pretty bad. We'll see how they go, and we continue on with that. We move on now to the Philadelphia Flyers. Welcome back, Flyers. Your Olympic break is over. And you guys only had 2 games this week to talk about. 1-1. 1-1. Not bad. It's
only 1 loss.
Only 1 loss, which is a bonus. We enjoy that. They just get back from the Olympic break, and they lose 1-3 to the Capitals. I think Noah Cates is the only one who scored the goal in that game. Just another vintage Flyers loss. It's exactly every problems you thought about showed up in that game. No doubt about it. The next game, though, won in overtime, 3-2 against the Rangers. Excellent game, very fun to watch. Mitch Kov was cooking that game with 2 goals. Trevor
Who's
Zegras
fat now?
right behind
Who's
with
fat
1 goal.
now?
Who's out of shape now? Who's out of shape now? You earned yourself a milkshake, boy. Go drink a milkshake, get a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. You earned it. But I want to make a good compliment. I don't really say a lot of good compliments to this guy, but Urson, man, good game. He had 92% shot save percentage, and you got to give credit where credit's due. He had a good game.
I saw a
You gotta
little bit
give
of you
credit where
die
credit's
when
due.
having to give him props.
I don't like him. I hope the fans eventually get that soon. So obviously, NHL, the Flyers have been keeping a lot of their news on the in-house pretty quiet, but the trade deadline is coming up, March 6th, and the Flyers in a really this is a really confusing spot for the Flyers and what they want to do with their roster. So I feel like whatever they do in this trade deadline will really determine where the organization sees them as like a team in the future. Like this is definitely one of the most important deadlines at the moment, because they're like right in this middle of the pack kind of style of team where they're either they can still make a run for the playoffs. Odds are very low at this point, but they're still, you've seen them in the beginning of the season be a pretty dominant team, and they also aren't the first overall pick. Like they're in this weird middle. So I don't know if you trade away for draft value to get more younger guys, or you kind of build more of a veteran roster. I don't know. What are you feeling on what you think they should do at this point at the deadline?
I don't know. You kind of like said it's kind of hard to tell. They're in a weird spot. I think the worst thing possible is if they just stay put and do nothing, especially with where they're at. You kind of have to. You're reaching across the point, so you have to make a decision.
They have to move the needle one way or the other. They can't just remain neutral. And there's unfortunately a chance that they might remain neutral, knowing the Flyers organization. So that hopefully they don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did stay still.
Is there any trade rumors that are out? Do you know?
I was looking around. Like there are a couple, but nothing like. Obviously, they tried to shop for a couple big guys, but they didn't really I don't hear any follow ups after that, so it just hasn't really been going anywhere, frankly. Of course, I'll let the team know. I mean, March 6th is right around the corner. It's next week, so we'll know better news by then, obviously. But they have 24 games remaining in the season, and playoff hopes are bleak. They're probably not going to happen. So pack it up. Just watch the young guys grow. This is a good young guys growth season. I miss Bobby Brink so much. I miss him. Please return, Bobby Brink. We miss you. We miss you. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty light on the Flyers side, which takes us to the Eagles. Also pretty light. I mean, other than the fact that rumors have been building up further that A.J. Brown is probably going to get traded, just based on the inflection of interviews and where everything's going.
I still think it's all smoke and mirrors, and he's just trolling.
It could be. It could be. I was saying not from A.J. Brown's point of view, but more from the Howie, Laurie, and Sirianni's point of view. I mean, it's just been kind of really up in the air at this point, and it's surprising that they haven't really confirmed yes, we're keeping him. So I could see them really shopping him at this point forward.
I don't see it. I'm standing my ground.
Okay. I don't know.
We did see Landon Dickerson can confirm that he's coming back at least another year.
That's good, and that's all bonus that we're gonna enjoy. I mean, he's got to heal up though. He was really banged up. That's why he
would always play injured. It seemed.
So hopefully he rests up this season, and it definitely was because of that. I mean, we ran the ball so much in 2024. It probably did a toll on that O-line group. I mean, we were a true ground and pound.
Landon Dickerson's been kind of on and off injured throughout college as well. So it's kind of a him thing, I guess. and maybe he can get fully healthy at some point, but it's hard to tell.
He could get more healthy from the 2025 season. That's the hope.
Yeah,
That's the hope and the prayer.
he didn't play. He didn't. I guess he did play. Like when he did play, he was hurt, but he didn't play as much as he did in previous years. Also.
No, he didn't. But he definitely did try to like stay on the field as much as he could. Which I mean, I'm glad he's back. He's a trooper. He's a warrior. We wanted to talk a little bit about before we get into our main topic of what we're going to like do for the rest of the video. The report card came out for the Eagles organization,
and it was
Let's
not straight A's.
No, he did not get straight A's. Unfortunately, it's always fun to look at these at the end of the season, especially like overall around the whole NFL. I love like looking at like the Jets stuff, and there's always like an F and or like multiple organizations. It's just good, very interesting. I remember the Bengals always have like a really shitty like cafeteria. I know they always rate that one pretty low. So for the fans, we should definitely talk about this one today. I got it pulled up right here. We'll just go down the list and we'll talk about things real fast. Treatment of families, the team gave it a C plus. So it was average. I don't know what they're expecting for an A plus effort for treatment of families. Like I have no idea what the basis is.
I think some teams have like daycares and stuff in their facilities.
Probably. I was thinking more like seating for like families to go see games.
Maybe
I could see them like still making them pay for tickets.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something the Link would do.
I did see one of the games I went to like a while back. I did see. I don't know if it was confirmed her, but I'm pretty sure it's her. Cravon LeBlanc, one of our cornerbacks. I saw his mom in the 300 sections.
Well, there you go. That might be the C. You get free seats, but you get the nosebleeds. So, I mean, C's a passing grade. C's get degrees. Well, the next two are home game field and food and dining area. Both are A. That's expected. I mean, the home game, the field itself on the Link is really like it's really good quality. I feel like from a viewer standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, we see other events happen here too. Like we're gonna see the World Cup. We've seen like lacrosse championships happen there.
Yeah,
a lot of other like sports team use it. So honestly, with the usage it has, it's kind of surprising that it still is like top tier as it is. But it doesn't make it surprising that a lot of teams use it.
They must have really good groundskeepers then, turf managers. But the food and dining area, A, that's solid. What do you think they eat? What's the
cheesesteaks? And that's it. And pretzels. Yeah. Philly pretzels.
Maybe the O lineman. Come on now. But
one salad.
I mean, it's always good. The dining area being an A is always a bonus. The nutritionist and dietitian is a B plus.
Oh, they're definitely getting cheesesteaks.
Yeah, they snuck a couple fruit snacks in there, so that's why they got a B plus grade. People are really cracking down on that. The locker room's a D. That was a D really grading.
I'm not surprised because you see like some of the other teams' locker rooms on social media, and then you see like the Eagles one. It seems like the Eagles is pretty basic in terms of locker rooms.
Very vintage style too.
Especially when you have a bunny rabbit in there, inflatable.
Oh my gosh, what a season that was! It really was the season of all seasons. I mean, they just put an inflatable bunny rabbit from their garage to build motivation. I mean, what are we doing? That's just like come on now. Now, do you think it's just solely the quality of the locker room, or do you think they like take into account like just the locker room antics and connection through the team, like through the locker room?
I think in these it is just the locker room itself.
Okay,
and I could be wrong. But that's what I take it as when I'm reading these, considering like the other topics that they have.
Yeah, I could see it. I think it is that too, especially like seeing post-game interviews and what it looks like. It doesn't look like it really knocked out of the park here. Maybe they have like not enough showers either. I have a feeling that would be a doozy.
It looks like a higher tier like D3 college. locker room.
Awesome. The team deserves that. Okay. The training room is a B minus, and the training staff is an A, and the weight room is an A minus.
Okay,
Which
that all kind of makes
that
sense.
That all checks out. Good for the Eagles to focus on that, on the athleticism. I mean, you hear about the tush push and squatting 600 pounds all the time. I would hope that their weight room is good if they keep flexing that. I wonder who has an F. I wonder who has an F weight room. Think anybody has an F weight? Like, what would be?
Maybe.
What's he?
I don't know. Maybe the Raiders.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a guess. Just a lucky
Max
guess.
Crosby perseveres.
Yeah.
He stays strong through those tough times. The strength coaches get an A minus, and the position coaches get an A minus as well, which that's understandable. Yeah, that makes sense. There was never really any complaints from that end. Here's where we get like more into things. The offensive coordinator gets a C plus, and the defensive coordinator gets an A plus.
Only
very generous guys. Very generous guys.
I wonder if Sirianni pumped the ratings.
He rigged the voting. He threw in 20 A plus votes to all the F votes just to get it up to the C. In all honesty, though, I think Patullo probably is like just a good dude.
Yeah,
he just isn't a good play caller. So they probably just like the guy as a person, but he's just not. He was not built for this shit. So he was sent there. And honestly, as bad as he was with the Eagles, since he is such a nice guy, I'm kind of like rooting for him as a passing coordinator for Miami.
I mean, yeah, you kind of want to do that with especially with coaches. Players, I kind of get not wanting to do that, but I feel like coaches they're gone from your team, so they can't really do any more harm to you.
Exactly. You just kind of hope for the best for them until they come
Gannon.
back.
I was kind of cheering for Gannon a little bit.
I hope Gannon panned out, but he never did, unfortunately. He just couldn't get the Cardinals going. But so the next thing is special teams coordinators an A, and I'll skip this one, but the head coach is an A, and the general manager and the team ownership are both B. So the head coach getting A, that kind of checks out for me what I think the locker room is at the moment. I think it was maybe more of a player thing. I know Sirianni isn't entirely out of the blame of what happened on the offense, but I really do feel like he is a good coach. I feel like people exaggerate a lot of the time, especially on the radio, the callers coming in hating on Sirianni. Oh, he's not a good coach. He didn't go to place. But he has such a unique way of coaching that I don't think the NFL has really seen too much. I kind of think of him as an on-site manager. Okay. He doesn't call the plays, but he organizes everything. The locker room, he organizes the team meetings. He definitely still does a ton of stuff in the background. I feel like people forget that. There's a lot that goes into each practices and everything that team travel, locker room, companionship. There's a lot that goes into it in team building. And I think that's what he truly excels at. And I think you could still see glimpses of that through 2025. Because as bad as the season was, we still went 11-6.
Yeah, I agree. He's always been kind of labeled as a locker room coach, so it makes sense that he's higher up level. More than some people would see him as. What surprises me is the general manager being a B. Howie Roseman's kind of seen as one of the top GMs in the league, so that kind of surprises me.
I feel like it's more of a thing like the big wig coming down and constantly maybe putting pressure on the team, or maybe using his leadership. Because I know some people could probably take that the wrong way. Because Howie's more hands on with the organization compared to other general managers, so maybe that could come off as I don't know, controlling.
Maybe. I don't know.
We don't truly know in these backgrounds. The last thing I wanted to talk about, though, from this report card was They got an F in team travel. I mean, are we like coming in horse buggy? What's going on with that?
Maybe it's like they're not getting like first class flights or private flights, and they're getting like I don't know.
They don't even like rent out their own plane. Like, don't even got need first class or anything. I don't know. I don't really know how like air travel really works with like like if you can buy your own plane for that. But I can just imagine just a bunch of Eagles players on like a public train on like American Express or American Airline or something like that. Spirit, it's just like Spirit Airlines, just not a good vibe overall.
Oh, flight's been delayed. We might be late for the game.
Yeah, they're flying over. Oh, the flight's been delayed. You're gonna need to rebuy your tickets. Your tickets have been canceled. You're gonna have to figure something out. So yeah, that shocked me. F in that is crazy. They must really not be. Maybe that's why Howie Roseman got a B and team ownership got a B.
Oh, maybe
the traveling was so bad. Well, that was a little fun. We love the NFL report cards that come in at the end of the season to cap off the overall waste of time that was the 2025 year. It felt like a waste of roster strength. So hopefully next year they can come around, and we'll continue to talk more about it as the offseason continues. And free agency is about to start soon. So football's about to get more exciting with that. A lot of stuff to talk about there. But that leaves us with our last thing we wanted to talk about for the rest of the episode. As we close out our news, we wanted to do something special. So we're gonna try to rank like top 10 Philly athletes of 2025.
That's 10 players on
10 players.
Any team you desire. That's what
the core. I'll say right now the core four: NBA, MLB.
My list is wrong then. So,
I never specified that. So you know what? We're gonna allow every Philly team.
I didn't want to ask because I knew you wouldn't allow it, so I just did it anyway.
That's fine. You know what? I was gonna expect a core four, but it's all love. Big role here is before people like think about it and get confused at all. For teams like the Flyers and Sixers where their years kind of like carry over, it's the back half of the season. So like from the start of 2025 of the 2024 to 2025 season of the NBA for the Sixers to like the start of the 2025 to 2026 season for the Sixers. Does that make sense?
So in other words, it's from January 1st of 2025 to December 31st of 2025.
Yeah. Entirely. And we're taking only into account that stuff. So no accolades from 2024. So I'm personally not counting like all the regular season rushing stats from Saquon, like from the 2024 season, but I am counting stats from the playoffs, the playoff run from the Eagles.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So anyway, I guess we get started on this. I'll let you go first. Your number 10 spot.
My number 10 spot. Number 10. I have VJ Edgecombe.
Ooh,
I'm putting the Rook in at 10. You see, through 2025, he only has 2 months to his name, but I feel like it's enough to put him on there. Through those first 2 months, he was a Rookie of the Year contender. He was the 3rd overall pick, which is a feat itself. And that was awesome to get him at that point.
Yeah.
And then in 2025 itself, he averaged 16 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And I feel like he was a great spark plug for the Eagle or the Sixers roster. And he kind of just uplifted the whole roster as he came in. I feel like that's enough to put him into the 10 slot.
I think that's a great pick. For my number 10, I'm going to pick here the only player from this team. I've got Trevor Zegras from the Philadelphia Flyers. The dude's an absolute baller. I mean, so far in 2025 alone, he has 23 goals and 38 assists on the squad. from the whole year as a whole. And I mean, he lit a fire in that early 2025 season. I mean, at one point the Flyers were second in the Metro or third in the Metro, and there was hope. There was hope in the Flyers organization. It actually got me pumped. It felt like he was scoring points every game, and he was just so consistent, and he was a constant threat, which is something we just didn't really see too much from any other Flyer, excluding like Michkov a little bit, but he got hurt. So it's just a breath of fresh air to have him. And it's kind of similar with that thing where they kind of lit a fire, just like VJ did to the Sixers, where the Flyers were playing at a level they were never playing at before. Yeah. Unfortunately, that did not carry over, and that's why he's at 10. Did not carry over as the season went on. They started falling off and kind of falling back into place of what everyone expected them to be at. But I will still put him on my number 10 list for just that oomph that he has, and he's still producing right now.
I like that pick, and I'll do a little spoiler. I considered him, but he did not make my list.
That's fair. Absolutely. So I'll just get one of my – I only had one honorable mention just off the top of my head. It's Michkov. He would have been number 10, but there's just too many players that are better, that were more impactful on their year for the year than he was, and he had a pretty poor start. He kind of came in out of shape, and that's not like anything bad on him. I know he's going to turn it around, but he just didn't really have a good year overall.
I like that as an honorable mention pick. I guess I'll go on to number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9, I have from the Philadelphia Wings, Brennan O'Neill.
Whoa. Oh, shit. I love that.
And so for Brennan O'Neill, I did some of the math because it's kind of hard to find the stats, so I had to go game by game.
You gotta find, man. The NLL does not do a good job with that.
Yeah. He had 24 goals, 30 assists for a total of 54 points in 17 games. There was only one game where he had 0 points, which I thought was pretty impressive. I don't know if that's normal in the NLL, but
that is not normal. Dude's like he's a generational talent.
For people that don't know what the NLL is, it's kind of like, it's more like hockey compared to normal lacrosse, but it's a big, like, it's lacrosse basically in a hockey setting.
It's indoor lacrosse, different rules, more physical.
I would say just for the fans, if you want a cheap sporting event to go to, those are always pretty cheap, and they're always pretty exciting to go to.
Wherever town you're in too, I think just the sport in general is just really enjoyable to watch. It's constant action at all times, and honestly, I was not expecting you to go to a deep cut like that. I was not expecting a deep cut there, but yeah, Brennan O'Neill is a generational talent. That is very not normal. Dude's legit. In PLL, he's on the Denver Outlaws. That's the outdoor league they created not too long ago. I think like 5 years ago. Speaking of which, before we continue, you'll have to add a comment below for the fans here. But if you want to hear more about lacrosse, we both love the sport, and we'd always be willing to talk about it.
Yeah, of course. Leave a comment, guys.
Yeah, please leave a comment. But anyway,
tell us to talk about lacrosse.
So for my number 9, I picked someone kind of outfield, left field a bit. I don't know, just from watching ball and throughout the whole season, and I think especially just impressed me during the playoffs. I've got the Philadelphia Phillies Luzardo, the pitcher.
Ooh, okay.
I got him at number 9. Dude's
that's
super
not
young.
Left field. That's out of left field. That's a pitcher.
No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Luzardo's a pitcher for the Phillies. Although he didn't have the lowest ERA compared to his peers, he didn't have the best ERA. Dude has had some games where he's legit. You just got to watch him play. There are games where he'll completely clean house, and he does it at such a young age. And I think the biggest step up from that was when he did it in the playoffs, especially against the Dodgers. It's just crazy for how to be put in that role and to be able to play at that level. And I think he was playing at an impressive level. mainly from the playoffs. Overall in the season, he was still really good, but obviously there was a couple of pitchers a bit better than him on the team.
Mm.
But he performed, man. He performed in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. I like that.
All right, what you got for number 8?
Number 8, keeping it at the pitcher position, I went with Ranger Suarez. Oh, goodbye, Ranger. Sucks to see him go. He's on the Red Sox now. I felt like he was our best pitcher on the team last year. Arguably one of our best players, if not our best. But he had a 12-8 record on the year, which tied his career high in wins. He pitched 157.1 innings and 151 strikeouts, which were both also career highs. So he overall had a career year, and it kind of went under the radar. His defense is amazing. You always can expect him to make a play out there on the mound. And it sucks that he's gone. He was definitely one of my favorite players on the team.
Yeah, he was really good that year. It was either him or Luzardo for my 9 pick, because Suarez is not on my the rest of my rankings. So that's what was one of the biggest things. The hardest thing for me was the past the top 5 in my eyes, and I just had to I gave the nod to Luzardo. I think it could have gone either way, but I think playoff performance just went to him. It just kind of put it over, because for me, I feel like I took into account like more impact in like the biggest game, the biggest moments. But that's not anything to disrespect Suarez anyway. Dude was legit. And in the regular season, I think he did have better statistics than Luzardo, hands down.
Okay, yeah.
For my number 8, we just talked about him earlier. I got VJ Edgecombe.
All right, there
he is. Yep, he's
the
on
generator.
The generator. He's made it to my list of rookie, and man, did he change the entire vibe of the whole room for the Sixers. Before, in the previous season, they were ass. They were having one of their worst seasons, just injury riddled. Everything was down. Like, momentum was completely off. I mean, it was a throwaway year. And we get this guy, and he comes in, and he cleans house, man. I mean, it might not, like, he just, like, changes the whole attitude of the locker room. The way he just wants to play, he plays hard, he plays good defense. Dude's amazing. There's a reason why he was a rising star MVP right there on that team. Dude's an absolute player. So right now, he's at a 15.3 points per game. And I know it's not a lot in points, but he does a lot, like, on the court as well. Rebounds, assists. He's a playmaker. He gets the ball moving, around. We really needed that kind of player on the team, and he's been a great impact so far. I mean, the Sixers went from non-playoffs and people guessing them not to be in the playoffs to currently 6th in the East, which is a huge improvement.
Yeah, I like the way you described it, how his play is pretty contagious to the rest of the team. That's a great way to put it, and I definitely agree. That's a good spot for him. I'll go on to my number 7. This is the last one that's not part of the core 4.
Okay.
We got Philadelphia Water Dogs, Michael Sowers.
Dude's a dog.
I had him to number 7. This is the PLL, so this is the outdoor league. I'll put it out there for the fans that don't really know. So the Water Dogs the previous season were last place in the league. They're the number 1 overall pick, who didn't play like pretty much the entire season, by the way. And this year they ended up going to the semifinals off of Michael Sowers' MVP-like play. He was an MVP finalist. He had a stat line of 18 goals, 23 assists, which is 41 points total. In the playoffs, he rose. He had, in the first game, the quarterfinals, he had 4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points. And I think he had like a 66% shot percentage. And then the semifinals, they completely, if I remember right, they completely locked him off. They did not let him get the ball at all. And he still had 2 goals. He still had 2 goals for 100% shot percentage. So even when he was locked off, he was still able to make some stuff happen on offense. And I have him at my number 7 spot.
That's a valid pick. I think, in my opinion, it's a little high, but it's all love.
You're the hater because you don't like him because you're a fake fan.
No, I'm an Archers fan. I picked them before
You're a
got
fake
locations.
Phillies fan. You're a fake Philly fan.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I picked the Archers before they were the Utah Archers. All right, it's not my fault they didn't get picked as the Philly team when they went full city. I had to stick with my team. I gotta be loyal. I can't leave. Once an Archer fan, always an Archer fan. I can't be an op like that. That isn't to say I don't like when the Archers were out of the playoffs. I don't root. It's not like I don't root for the Water Dogs. So watching them play, I do agree that Michael Sowers is a game changer on that team. But number 7, I don't know.
If he was on the Archers, you would agree.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll never know. The Archers sucked this year, so the Archers were god awful. Anyway, that's going to put me at my number 7 pick. I got Zach Bond.
Oh, okay.
Putting in Zach Bond, an absolute behemoth in that playoff run for the Eagles that took them to the Super Bowl, and they got their second Lombardi. A game changer in that linebacking core. And on top of that, he was really good in the 2025 year under Vic Fangio. I mean, he is nobody to scoff at. He's a great player overall. I'm trying to pull off the stats here to give me.
Do you hear me scoff at him?
Yeah, why'd you scoff at him, dude? Not cool.
I just want to prove you that someone can do it.
That's messed up. So in the 2025 year, he had 123 combined tackles. He had 7 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. He is a guy to be reckoned with, and he is difficult to get past overall. He's going to tackle you and get you down. And he was a guy that the Eagles needed on that defensive roster, just a good tackler. Because the Eagles have had problems before where they just were very poor in tackling, and he kind of changed that mindset overall, in my opinion. That's why I have him at number 7, a huge piece for that defense.
I think that's a great pick, and he kind of proved himself that like he wasn't a one-year wonder this past year throughout 25 exactly. The regular season. So I like that. I like that a lot. My number 6, this was kind of hard. I would say the next like couple were kind of like really close with each other, and you might have this guy a little bit higher up. I'm not too sure, or maybe you don't have him on your list at all. But I think you would have him higher up. I went with Jalen Hurts. Through 2025, he won a Super Bowl. He was the Super Bowl MVP. He had 3,950 yards, 30 touchdowns, and to just 7 interceptions throughout 20 games. I feel like why are you making that face?
I don't want to make a spoiler here, but he is higher up on my list, so I'm just shocked and all that you got him at the big old number 6 on this. Not even top 5. What are we doing? One.
My top 5 makes a lot of sense.
Whatever. This is crazy. But continue continue glazing him, please.
Well, as Eagles fans, we know he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
For the Eagles, for sure. I absolutely.
Anyways, 2025 is very good. And maybe towards the back half of the regular season, he kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm not putting the blame on him for that.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one bad game with the Chargers. That was his fault, but I mean, with what he was working with, he was making the best decisions he could. But I don't know. He's a little too low for me in my books, but it's all love. It's all love. I get it. I get it. Number 6 for me. I got Cooper DeJean. A dominant player. He got the pick 6 in the Super Bowl. Great guy. He had a great rookie year to get in a great rookie run in that playoffs. And then in 2025, he has a very solid, respectable season. I mean, I believe he was elected as a Pro Bowler. He's been a great option on the defense. Another great piece from Fangio there. He improved beyond the last season. So I just think Coop was a really great. What do you got? What are your thoughts on that? Huh?
I agree. He had a great season. I don't want to spoil too much about what my thoughts are on him.
Okay. But he was a game changer on that team. I mean, great corner, was constantly reliable throughout, and he's just another great tackler on that team. He always gets clutch tackles. He's a guy who will go down past the line of scrimmage and get the screenplay, which is always a great ask for a corner. Man, just a great player.
It's a Philly thing.
Who do you got next? It's a Philly thing. Who do you got next?
Number 5. You kind of mentioned this guy before we started the list, but I still had to add him on here. Saquon Barkley. He won the Offensive Player of the Year. He ended 2025 with 1,639 yards, 14 touchdowns in 20 games. And this might be a hot take. I definitely don't think it's a hot take in one of these games, but he was by far the best player in the divisional round of the playoffs against the Rams in that snow game.
That's not a hot take.
And I think he was arguably, in my opinion, he was the best player in the NFC Championship game against the Commanders. So he kind of like was the piece that got us hot and shot us into the Super Bowl. And then we ended up winning that. He didn't do much in the Super Bowl, but I think just his presence being there kind of opened everything up, especially with the
they did everything to shut down Saquon Barkley in that Super Bowl. So, they loaded the front line there.
His regular season kind of slowed down again, kind of similar to Jalen Hurts, but I still think what he did in the playoffs was enough to put him in number 5. Between him and Jalen Hurts, it was very close for me, but I decided to go Saquon above him.
You know what? That's really funny you say that, but he's also on my list. I'm not going to say when, but my number 5 is Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh,
he just hits into the top 5. Dude's basically just taken over the team, to be honest with you. He's a total game changer. In the previous year, early 2025. He kind of got hurt, so you didn't see him too much. That was just a throwaway year for the Sixers entirely at that point. It was a doozy. But he was still, when he was available, he was putting up pretty good numbers. But this season, man, he took it off by storm. He's taken over as the leader of the team. And which is a good thing, because I feel like Embiid is really playing a great role in being that secondary idea. But Tyrese Maxey has proven that he is the guy. He's the franchise guy, the guy to sign the big contract to and keep him for a long time, as long as possible with the Sixers. He's averaging 29 points in the season per game, 4 rebounds. He's moving the rock around. He's averaging 6 assists, almost 7 assists a game. He's doing absolutely wonderful numbers, and he made the All-Star team for the East, which just goes to show how much of a great player he is. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You might have him higher up, I feel like. What are we thinking here?
I do have him a little bit higher up, so I'll get to him in a little bit, but I do think that's a good pick. Only number 5 is crazy, though.
Listen. You'll hear. This is where we have the differing opinions, because we have.
Sorry, I have to slander you for slandering me.
No, listen. This is what it's all about: slandering our top 10 picks.
I don't think you're not gonna like any of the rest of my picks. I feel like.
Oh boy. Don't tell me that.
But it's not a hot. None of them are really hot takes, but
just the position of their placement.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So where are we at? Number 4. I can see us having the same number 4.
Okay.
I'll
let you know if I do.
Number 4, I went Kyle Schwarber.
No.
Oh.
No.
Is he on your list?
I don't have him. He is. Wow. He is on my list. He is on my list.
Okay. I think he's just going to have it on your list. All right, Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber just came off a great year. He came second in the NL MVP. Was very had neck and neck with Shohei Ohtani, which is something to say itself. Um, he had 56 home runs, 132 RBIs,
Insane.
and 144 hits, which
Insane.
were all career highs for him. And if you average that, each hit he had a 38% chance of being a home run. And
Yeah.
I feel like he slides in good in that number 4 spot for me.
Yeah, so I agree that he deserves to be on this list. I actually have him a little bit higher. I'll just spoil it. I have him at 3. So
Okay.
he would be my top 3. I mean, he was just dominant the entire season. He's one of the main reasons the Phillies had such an insane record for the season overall. Dudes, you said it yourself based on the stats. I feel like if you went to a Phillies game, you were going to see a home run from this guy. It's just an expectation at that point. I mean, dude's a total baller this season. He deserved his contract that he got. He earned it on this contract year. But yeah, I have him actually higher because number 4 for me is Quinyon Mitchell.
Ah.
So I had a hard time. I actually thought about putting Schwarber at 4, but I just feel like his season was so dominant for the sport. Like, I just had to have him at 3, I felt like, based on his stats. I mean, he was second place as an NL MVP. So, like, compared to what Quinyon earned, I feel like that comparison is why I put him over the edge on Quinyon. But that does not go to say that Quinyon is, like, he's amazing. The dude was spectacular in the Super Bowl and the playoff run entirely. And, I mean, 2025, he only doubled down on how good he was. He was practically a lockdown corner. He earned his All-Star, All-Pro bid for the player he is. I mean, the whole season you could rely on that guy the whole time. There was never a point where I was worried, like, oh, my God, we're going to go against a star receiver and we're going to get cooked, you know? Because if I knew every time Quinyon was going to be on him, it was going to be fine. Now, Adoree Jackson and beyond, on the other hand, is another question. As we saw that teams started exploiting that corner 2 option because corner 1 was not allowing that receiver to even be available. And it's always hard to say because people barely give corners credit because obviously nobody's going to be talking about a good corner because they're locking out the receiver entirely. They're out of the play. The best corners keep the players out of the play. And the fact that you barely heard about Quinyon Mitchell throughout games is always a great thing. And his impact overall on the team, I mean, this 2025 season, I don't think would have had the record it did without him. He was such an integral piece. So that's why I have him at number 4.
All right. I definitely agree. Number 3 for me, I have Tyrese Maxey at number 3.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You kind of talked about his stats a little bit, but I think what puts me so high up on him is that this is the year we saw him become, like, from that's third or second option to definitely being the superstar on the team. Absolutely. And that's very impressive from where he's came from. He's the 20th or 21st overall pick of the draft, one of the two. And each year he's just gotten better and better. And he's expanded his game. And he was a big player on that really trash team last year too. So he showed out. He showed out then, and then he definitely improved the upcoming following year. And you did say he was an all-star. I think he was an all-star starter, if I'm not wrong, which is very impressive. It's an impressive feat, and I'm excited to see what he can do for the future.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to give clarification. The reason why I do not have him at 3 and I have him at 5 is because the impact in comparison to the sport. So Quinyon was an integral piece to allow the Eagles to make it to a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. He was like a big piece there. Tyrese Maxey is a very integral piece to the Sixers, but right now the Sixers are currently 6th in the East. Like, he's still an incredible impact, but the result of as a team, the Sixers still have like a little bit of ways to go to show me results of like putting him higher. But that's more of a testament as the team as a whole. Like, the accolades will come as Maxey continues to play at this level. He's definitely on pace, but just currently right now, that's why I have him at 5.
I see where you're coming from. And then, do you have anything to add on to your number 3?
It's Schwarber. He deserved that spot. He was a backup MVP. You already said it best. Dude's dominant. Nothing really to go over extra there. I feel like we went to another thing about impact. Like we went to the playoffs because of him, because of the level of points he was putting up. So, just another point there.
All right, top 2.
Top 2.
Are you cool if I kill 2 birds with 1 stone here at my final 2?
Go right on ahead.
All right, number 2. I feel like you're not gonna like this, but it was really, really close for me. Number 2, I went Quinyon Mitchell, and number 1 is Cooper DeJean.
Whoa!
What? It was really close for me.
Okay, that's insane. That is actually insane.
By the way, in my opinion, I do think Quinyon Mitchell is the better player. But in terms of 2025 I think I had to put Cooper DeJean ahead of him. Quinyon really came out as a top lockdown cornerback in the league. We really saw that from him. He was a first-team All-Pro, and he finished out in second place in the Rookie of the Year voting the previous year. And you kind of said it best already with him. You never really heard his name get called out on while watching games, and you didn't have to worry about anyone going any top wide receiver going off in the Eagles. I feel like it's kind of the same thing with Cooper DeJean. You never really heard his name get called, unless he's making tackles.
Well, yeah, that's what he does. That's his best part, his best aspect.
But even then, you never really saw him get burnt in coverage. He was also a first-team All-Pro, and that's exactly why. The main thing that put me ahead of Quinyon Mitchell in this year is the pick six. Is the pick 6 in the Super Bowl. It made him a Super Bowl legend. He did it on his birthday. That's brownie points.
I mean, that is bonus.
And that's what really put me ahead of him. But it was very, very close. It was very close. But I decided to go Cooper with him.
I mean, man, first of all, 2 corners and 1 and 2, and
I had
Coop ahead of Quinyon is insane. I'm gonna have to debate you a little bit on that placement there. I know Coop. Nothing against Coop, but Quinyon is constantly going against starter caliber receivers at all times, the number 1 guy for every team. I feel like the level of play. I feel like I know he had the pick 6 in the Super Bowl, which is incredibly impactful. Which we'll get to impactful in a bit with my top 2, but but Quinyon controlled the entire 2025 season and basically held down every team they could, and was a major role and a factor on the entire season as to why the team even stayed afloat. I mean, the offense was awful. I know Coop also helped out with that, no doubt in my mind, obviously. But I feel like the role as cornerback 1 is just a much bigger impact than what Coop was. And that's nothing against Coop. Coop played his role perfectly, but I feel like when you're going corner for corner, the cornerback 1 should win, especially if they're both playing at an elite level. I get your argument, though.
I understand where you're coming from. And I already said, I do think Quinyon Mitchell is the better player. I think he's the better player overall. But I think the year that Cooper DeJean had is just
and then you got the impact beating him over.
Yeah, and you mentioned Quinyon Mitchell going against wide receiver 1s, but Cooper's also going against wide receiver 1s because they like to keep him in that slot, and sometimes that's where the wide receiver 1 is for other teams.
Oh,
and
yeah,
even
absolutely.
then,
I'm not saying he doesn't.
Lockdown too. And
he is.
He's a white corner. You got to give him some points for that. It seems like you took some points away from that.
I didn't take points away from that. I didn't take points away from I'm not saying okay. The volume of how many times Quinyon is going against a wide receiver 1 is more than Coop. That's why I would have him over the edge every time. In my opinion. But oh man, the 1 and 2 as well, man. That's crazy. I guess I'll go into what my top 2 are. So I had Saquon at 2, and I had Jalen Hurts as my 1.
Oh, okay.
So Saquon, for obvious reasons, was the reason we mainly got to the Super Bowl. I mean, dude had a dominant playoff run. The divisional game was a no-brainer. He controlled that game entirely and swayed the win for us in a very close game against the Rams, a very dominant team in the Rams, by the way. That was probably one of the most challenging teams on the NFC side at the time. So to go against that and get the win on them, and with Saquon playing as dominant as he did, no brainer. I feel like he has to be at 2. And I know he had you already talked about this. He had a pretty pedestrian average season for Saquon standards in 2025. He had just over, what was it, 1,100 rushing yards. But like the eye test, he just didn't really have the numbers that he would have had before. He kind of took a big step back. Not necessarily all of his fault, because the O-line took a major step back in the season. So you can't really put it on him entirely. And the play calling was really bad too. Can't forget about you, Kevin Patullo. But you can't take away the impact he did to get the Eagles to their eventual second Lombardi. I just think he was the main guy on that team. Like, he was the guy on that team. But I have Jalen Hurts ahead of him because he had the Super Bowl MVP, first of all. I just want to say that. He was the best player on the field in that Super Bowl. His playoff stats were insane for, like, playoff run standards. So, in the run, he had 65 completions for 91 attempts for 726 yards, 5 touchdowns to only 1 interception against multiple playoff style teams, multiple playoff level teams. And that's just impressive in my eyes. That's what's going to, like, really add to it. Dude's an absolute player. He had 5 rushing touchdowns in the playoffs in that year. He was a total game changer. He was a total game changer on the field. When Saquon got knocked out, basically locked out of the game because the Chiefs fully focused on Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts stepped up and proved to everybody why he's an elite quarterback. And on the biggest stage of the game was a Super Bowl MVP and torched the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes stood no chance. And you know what? People are hating on Jalen Hurts this season. I really think the coordinator really fucked him over because you got to just watch the games. Like, the stats don't show everything. Jalen Hurts is struggling out there with those hitch routes. It's all hitch routes. And I know he's taken a step back in the rushing department, and I agree that's a game he needs to get back up in, because that one of his best talents on him that keep him as a threat is his dual threat ability. And he didn't really have that too much in 2025 as much, like, compared to, like, previous years. But I felt like in a lot of the games, he felt more and more comfortable as a pocket passer. Like, he's kind of playing more like a pocket passer a little bit.
Yeah, they don't really have him running as much last year.
Yeah, so his numbers weren't terrible, and with what he was working with. And I'm going to exclude out of that Chargers game because that game was entirely his fault. But a lot of it was play calling that really held that offense back, and just a torn up O-line. The O-line was just not playing at the elite level that it normally does, which set the entire offense back big time. But yeah, that's like my top 2 compared to the 2 corners. It's crazy.
Well, all right. The way I see it, so you kind of got heavily influenced by the playoff run, which I understand. It's definitely, like, valid. But I kind of see, so that's 4 games, and you do get a Super Bowl out of it, or like 3 or 4 games. And then, but the regular season is like 16 games out of the year. So I think that the defense, and even through the playoff run, the defense was still, like, top tier.
It was.
That's why I put my 2 defensive guys up there, and then I had Saquon and Jalen down at 5 and 6, just because of mainly because of the regular season. But I find it funny how you and me have, like, Cooper DeJean and Jalen Hurts switched in our list, because you had Coop at 6, right?
Yeah, I had Coop at 6 and Jalen at 1, and I guess you had Jalen at 6 and
Yeah.
Coop at 1, which is just
I think that's funny, but that's where I'm at. And then because like the defense was so dominant, I just feel like it's right because those are the two guys like they came in and then the defense just got instantly so much better, and we saw that through the end of their rookie year in the playoffs. They didn't shy down in the biggest game of their career.
yeah.
They played amazing through the regular season as well. And then I already kind of got into it why I think Cooper DeJean belongs above Quinyon on my list. But like I said, I do think Quinyon is the better the better corner. But that's where I'm at. I just feel like Cooper DeJean made such a influential play to the Super Bowl. He had that pivotal pick six, and it just makes too much sense for me not to put him at number 1.
I know you're saying like I do hold the playoff run high, the 4 games high, because they won the Super Bowl. Like they got the Lombardi.
I do too. I do too. But you also gotta look. You also gotta look at the regular season too. But I still understand why you have them high. I'm not arguing against you on that.
No, I get you.
I'm just making a case for my list.
Yeah, I know you're making a case for your list. I get it. I just, man, maybe I just weigh it a lot more than you do. And I think that's where we differ. I would not have weighed it so much
more than me.
Hell no. But but my point is, if it were any other playoff run where like they lost in the Super Bowl, I would probably have a list more similar to you because I take that regular season into account more. But the fact they actually won the Lombardi is why I just have it so heavy. It just makes it that much more heavy on my ratings. The impact on the year. Like that's a marked moment of history. I know you're going to agree with me, and you just see it from a different case view, which I understand. I get where you're coming from. I get your reasoning, but I just have it a lot more heavier because the history that comes with it. It's the second Lombardi in the Eagles' history, and that's because of Jalen's level of play and Saquon on the ground, mainly. I mean, they're the ones that put up the points. I'm not saying it wasn't because of the defense too, but that year Saquon was the guy. And Jalen Hurts stepped up in an insane elite level that we didn't see in the 2024 season. Because I know in the regular season in 2024, he wasn't bad. He was just incredibly efficient. He didn't need to be like this elite level stat patter, you know. He needed to like have insane stats. He just there's points where he only threw like 16 times. He handed the ball off because Saquon was so good. But once that playoffs came around and people were focusing down on Saquon, Jalen Hurts stepped up big time. And without that level of play from the quarterback, we wouldn't have this Lombardi. No matter how good the defense is. That's how I see it.
I understand where you're going. Like I can see it both ways, but I get it. I get it. I do want to throw out some of my honorable mentions because I had a lot more honorable mentions than you did, and I didn't want to spoil my list. So
okay,
I had we talked about him a little bit last episode. I had Braden Mann on there for the honorable mentions.
Okay.
Gotta put Bobby Brink on the honorable mentions.
Bobby Brink.
This one could be a hot take, but I had Yabusele in the honorable mentions. He was one of the better players in that 76ers.
He was a dog for that 2024 2025 season for the hell we had to watch in that.
I had Joan Duran. He was a great addition to the Phillies. I just don't think he played enough. Like if he was on the team longer, then I think so.
Well,
Bryce Harper. I think Bryce Harper's on my honorable mentions list too.
Okay. I thought about putting Bryce on the list, but I thought about it too.
I felt like I just had to I felt obliged to putting Embiid on the honorable mentions list. I know he didn't play that much throughout the year, but that's just my opinion.
Hot. He's been hot on this season, and he didn't really play at all like last season. But I think he hasn't had enough volume of games to move the meter for me to put him in the top 10 or even honorable mention. He hasn't played enough games at the level he's playing right now.
And then my last honorable mention was Lane Johnson.
He was something I was thinking about when making top 10, but yeah, it was hard. It was really hard to make that decision. There's a lot of players to think about.
I did think about Zegras too. I thought about him for a little bit, but I had no Flyers on my list, so I kind of liked where I was going with my list, and I wouldn't change it just because a certain hater wanted me to.
Who's the hater?
You.
How am I a hater? I'm fine with you not picking Zegras. I'll do the Zegras representation on my list.
I'm not just talking about Zegras. I'm talking about everything.
What, Michael Sowers?
And Jalen Hurts and
Well, yeah, you had Jalen Hurts outside of the top 5.
He's borderline though. I told you it was close.
I know, but I don't know. Not top 5.
You know what the
when
kids
he's
are
Super Bowl
saying.
MVP.
You know what the kids are saying. The top 6 is the new top 5.
Kids are not saying that. Kids are not saying that at all. Yeah, not having him top 5 for the 2025 entire year, especially since he's Super Bowl MVP. That irked me. That irked me. Definitely not what I would expect at all.
Oh, well, it irked me how you're going to have Cooper DeJean in the top 5, even though he was a first-team All-Pro.
Kyle Schwarber was a backup MVP, and Tyrese Maxey was an All-Star, so it was really hard to decide where to put him. I had Quinion in there. I had Quinion on the list. Why'd you give me the pen, dude? Not cool. But is there anything else? I mean, I think that was a good list from both sides.
I think mine's better. Leave a comment in the comment section.
Hell no, yours is not better.
I know leave a comment who you think is better in the comments.
People are not going to like my Luzardo pick. I feel like I don't think people.
That's why my list is better.
No.
And because mine had Michael Sowers and yours didn't.
It's like Michael Jordan. Your list is dog.
Yours is dog.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. No, it is still crazy not Jalen.
Top 5. I'll give you some props. Your list is pretty okay.
Your Jalen not top 5 though is insane. That's insane, in my eyes.
You'll live. No Ranger Shores is crazy.
Yeah, it was between him and Luzardo. I just felt like Luzardo was the move. I had to pull the trigger on one of them, but I was having a really hard time. I knew going in I was only going to have probably 2 Phillies players too on my top 10. I was definitely 2 players tops.
When I was writing the list down, I knew I was going to have Maxey at 3, and then the Eagles. I was going to have the corners at the top too, and I didn't know. I was going back and forth.
This was pre-planned. This is first-degree murder.
Yeah, it's premeditated.
This is a premeditated play here.
I was going back and forth in my head, and the Demons won. Demons wanted Cooper DeJean.
I really hope there is comments because I hope they flame both of our lists. I would love, and for the people down low who are Philly fans, put your top 10 in. We would love to see your top 10 in the comments below and give
maybe we'll flame your picks.
I'll surely comment. I'll comment something on people's picks if they put them down there.
Got anything else you want to say?
I think we're dragging it.
We're dragging it?
We're dragging it.